Hey YouTube, welcome back to Pocket Knife Therapy. On this session we'll be going through some more Camillus pocket knives. If you're new to the channel, I'm going through all my grandfather's pocket knives that he left to me before I release them off into the world through eBay. These guys, of course, are the Camillus. This particular tang stamp, the way it's situated, they were produced between 1946 and 1950. So nice little post-war example of pocket knives. This guy has this easy pull, looks like a jackknife type of thing. It's a really nice spear point blade. Got half stops and a really nice snap there. Not sure what these bones are made of, or bones. These handles are made of. They look like bone, but could be Delrin plastic. This little pen blade has a nice half stops. The pull is a little bit tight, not that great. We'll put some oil on there, see if it works better. But a nice snap there. This looks like it's got brass pins, brass liners and spacers, which kind of answers a question I had a couple videos ago. Well, answers but doesn't answer. I was wondering how, during the war, brass was at a premium. You couldn't really use it for things because they were using it for shells and bullets and things like that. So pocket knives kind of took a hit during that period. So I was wondering how long after the war they could kind of pick that up and start using brass for the liners of pocket knives. And it seems relatively soon, 1946 through 1950, but of course this could be 1950, 4 years later. The war in the U.S. ended in 1945, I believe. Either 45 or 46. I want to say 45, but I'm sorry, I should know better, but I don't. One of those years. But anyways, so I didn't know how soon after that they started allowing people to use brass or not, but sometime in that time period they started using pocket knives, because this doesn't seem to be something for the military. But yeah, this one's a really nice pocket knife. No gaps or anything. The handles have, this is kind of typical. It'll have like a little bit of a gap there, but nothing too bad. Yeah, pretty nice pocket knife there. This guy seems to be just a standard Camillus pocket knife with these kind of short bolsters there, and this plasticky Bakelite kind of faux mother of pearl kind of covers. This one looks like the liners and might be steel, but it's hard to tell because they're kind of darkened. But it might be brass. One I did before had a nail file as the secondary blade. This one actually has a blade, so it's not exact, but the same sort of equal-ended yellow plastic with short bolsters seems to be pretty common Camillus knife pattern. No half stops, but decent snap for a little knife like this. The main blade here does pretty good. No rust. Still works right. Decent enough snap. My grandfather would try to sell these over the years. This one, of course, he tried to sell for $2. And this is where all the masking tape glue comes from. So yeah, just a couple of post-war pocket knives that my grandfather picked up. Pretty nice examples of that. So I'll start with this guy. After kind of showing them off a little bit, then I clean these price tags up and oil them up. Just kind of clean them up a little bit before putting them up on eBay. These aren't knives that I would keep. people have seen this channel before. A lot they knew I was talking about this, but my grandfather collected these knives by going to his local flea markets near his home in Northern California and Central California, and would just buy them from there. He was a collector, but he wasn't like searching for collector, to be a collector. He just collected them because he liked the way they were, and then he would kind of clean them up and stick them and store them, and that would be about it. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to let the oil soak into that while I do kind of the same thing to this. Yeah, so a lot of these knives that he picked up in the flea markets, they were just, users, and people were getting rid of them. He didn't buy them new and stick them in a package or and leave them in a package or anything like that. He just bought them because he liked them. So a lot of them are not in the best of shape. These particular ones are in pretty good shape, considering they're pretty old. How old is this? Let's see, 1950. That would make them at least 74 years old. So that's neat. They are not by any means the oldest knives in the collection, but 74 to 78-year-old knives. And, considering no rust or anything on these knives and they're carbon steel, I'd say they're in pretty darn good shape. So, yeah. Boy, it's as I look at these knives and I show them off in the videos, it's hard for me not to get sort of philosophical and melancholy. As you start thinking and just, I start thinking about my childhood and in my relationships with my grandfather and my father. The reason I have these guys now is because my father passed away November of 2023, so it's still pretty recent. It gets you thinking, about life and time and things like that, and it's another reason I'm not holding on to them. It's not always easy for me to go through these knives because you're reminded of a whole lot of stuff. So it's another reason I call it pocket knife therapy. As regular watchers of the channel may or may not know, I sometimes start bringing up family drama issues and things like that, but it's just kind of hard for me not to as I go through these knives. Well, yeah, with that oil, this has gotten a lot better as far as the pull on there. Yeah, real solid half stop, real nice knife there, just with a little bit of oil. It came out pretty nice. But yeah, everybody has a sob story. Everybody's lost somebody. Everybody has family issues. So I'm not alone in my thoughts here, but just wanted to kind of express a little bit of, I don't know, melodrama. It can be tough. This isn't a collection for me just as a collection, and they kind of fell in my lap out of my family members all being gone. So as much as I could ever like these knives, it can be difficult for me to go through them with all their associated memories and to be perfectly honest, not the best of memories. My family had their share of issues. It is just strange, and I don't know if anybody can relate. It just can be weird looking at these parts of your past and just thinking about old times. And boy, if we could go back in time, right? That would be a wish. But anyways, yeah, this turned out to be, it was already a nice knife, but a little bit of oil and stuff really made it even that much better. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Good snaps. Yeah, this is a real nice piece. And then this guy, still a nice piece, but I feel like it's just kind of standard. Getting this masking tape off is proving to be not the easiest. There we go. Yeah, this is like so far like the third of this type of knife, this type of yellow two-bladed equal-ended knife that I've come across. So it looks like this is just a pattern that was used over and over. You know, it's a decent enough knife. It works. It's, you know, it's doing its thing. No gaps and stuff. Just kind of a nice little example of a gentleman's knife. Have not been successful so far in selling any that look like this. I feel like it's just kind of a little bit of an unremarkable standard pocket knife. We'll see. Yeah, it's just, you know, I do one of these, you know, I come out with one of these a day, but, you know, each time I do this, it's, boy, it's quite the reminder that life is short. As everybody, I'm sure, knows. I always find it funny when people tell me, life is short and enjoy things, and it's like, I am well aware. So... I don't know, I have a lot of these to go through, so one day probably we'll start talking about my father, but not yet in this video. See, I have a few more of these Camilluses to go through, a few more different tang stamps. So you'll see a few more of these videos, and not to mention that I have a ton more unknown knives to go through. I have at least one more box to go through that just contains some stuff I haven't gone through yet, so bound to be more Camillus in that box as well. But here you go. Yeah, nice acoustics and nice pull on these knives. Just kind of a neat little, I mean, I like this knife. This is if I was to carry a knife daily, it would be something like this, something not too expensive. I wouldn't mind so much if I lost it. Good enough to be opening packages and stuff with. And it's really just a solid, nice knife. So, you know, I as much as I like these guys a lot, I might take one of these camping, but like day to day, this is something like this would be the candidate that I would probably go with. So yeah, okay. That concludes our session. Another fine couple of entries in the Camillus book. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.